Welcome to Dishes Studio. Let's dive into a freaking wired culture to our real-time culture. As we explore this interesting historical culture, kindly subscribe if you are new in the channel. This is a full episodes of the Himba tribe you need to know. The Himba, or Ova Himba, are indigenous peoples with an estimated population of about 50,000 people living in northern Namibia, in the Cunene region, formerly Kyoko land, and on the other side of the Cunene River in Angola. The Himba are a semi-nomadic, pastoralist people, culturally distinguishable from the Herero people in northern Namibia and southern Angola, and speak Atji Himba, a variety of Herero, which belongs to the Banta family within Niger-Congo. Himba are remarkably famous for covering themselves with Atji's paste, a cosmetic mixture of butter fat and ochre pigment, to cleanse the skin over long periods due to water scarcity, and protect themselves from the extremely hot and dry climate of the Kyoko land, as well as against mosquito insect bites. Atji's is considered for most a highly desirable aesthetic beauty cosmetic, symbolizing Earth's rich red color and blood, the essence of life, and is consistent with the Himba ideal of beauty. The first settlements of the Himba people can be traced back to the early 16th century when they crossed the Angolan border and chose Kyoko land, nowadays called Cunene region, as their new homeland. At that time, the word Himba did not exist because of the fact that they had not yet separated themselves from the Herero tribe. At the end of the 19th century, Namibia was plagued by a relentless bovine epidemic. Most of the cattle that the Herero depended on perished, and the tribe faced a great crisis. Subsequently, the tribe moved south and started to explore different regions in order to enhance their chances of survival. Still, some members decided to stay and rather struggle for survival in familiar territories. Then and there, the schism between the two tribes became a reality, and the Himba identity came into being. In 1904, they suffered from genocide organized by German colonial authorities led by Lothar von Trotha. 1848 to 1920, the Himba are predominantly livestock farmers who breed fat-tailed sheep and goats, but count their wealth in the number of their cattle. They also grow and farm rain-fed crops such as maize and millet. Livestock are the major source of milk and meat for them. Their diet is also supplemented by cornmeal, chicken eggs, wild herbs, and honey. Only occasionally, and opportunistically, are the livestock sold for cash. Non-farming businesses, wages and salaries, pensions, and other cash remittances make up a very small portion of the Himba livelihood, which is gained chiefly from their work in conservancies, old age pensions, and drought relief aid from the government of Namibia. Women and girls tend to perform more labor-intensive work than men and boys do, such as carrying water to the village, earthen plastering the Mapani wood homes with a traditional mixture of red clay soil and cow manure binding agent, collecting firewood, attending to the calabash vines used for producing and ensuring a secure supply of soured milk, cooking and serving meals, as well as artisans making handicrafts, clothing and jewelry. The responsibility for milking the cows and goats also lies with the women and girls. Women and girls take care of the children, and one woman or girl will take care of another woman's children. The men's main task is preoccupied tending to the livestock farming, herding, where the men will often be away from the family home for extended periods, animal slaughtering, construction, and holding council with village tribal chiefs. Himbas are animists, and their supreme being is called Mukaru. The way they communicate with their god is through the holy fire. The smoke of the holy fire rises towards the heaven, which enables them to communicate with their ancestors, who stand in direct contact with the supreme being. In every village, there is a holy fire smoldering, while next to it, some logs of wood are put on a sacred stone in order to feed the fire when needed. It's not allowed to cross the holy line for outsiders or people who have not been invited into the village. The holy line starts from the main entrance of the chief's hut and goes straight, passing the holy fire, to the entrance of the cattle enclosure. One of the most remarkable Himba traits is that the women are not allowed to use water for washing. This implies themselves, and also their clothes. Again, according to the elderly, this dates back to the great droughts, where water was scarce, and only men were allowed access to water for washing purposes. Apart from applying red ochre on their skin, Himba women do take a daily smoke bath in order to maintain personal hygiene. They will put some smoldering charcoal into a little bowl of herbs, mostly leaves and little branches of conifer trees, and wait for the smoke to ascend. Thereafter, they will bow over the smoking bowl, and due to the heat, they will start perspiring. For a full-body wash, they cover themselves with a blanket so that the smoke gets trapped underneath the fabric. The Himba are polygamous, with the average Himba man being husband to 2 wives at the same time. They also practice early arranged marriages. Young Himba girls are married to male partners chosen by their fathers. This happens from the onset of puberty, which may mean that girls aged 10 or below are married off. This practice is illegal in Namibia, and even some Himba contest it, but it is nevertheless widespread among the Himba people. It is customary as a rite of passage to circumcise boys before puberty. Upon marriage, a Himba boy is considered a man, unlike a Himba girl, who is not considered a fully fledged woman until she bears a child. The females in the Himba tribe do most of the labor-intensive work, as they are responsible for fetching of water, preparing meals for a family, as well as handling the woodwork, while the males are mostly responsible for animal slaughter, tending to livestock, and organizing council meetings with the elders of the village. Women have very little or no rights in the Himba culture, and are always required to obey their husbands. Speaking of the husbands, the Himba man is allowed as many wives as he is able to fend for, and the wives can be as young as 10 years old. The wife's life goal is to please her husband, so she's always at his beck and call, tending to all his needs, including having sex with house guests. On top of the head, women wear the Himba crown, the Rembi. This crown is made of cow or goat leather and is placed on the head when a girl reaches puberty. The red ochre, however, is applied when the girls are old enough to look after themselves hygienically. The tribe's men do not apply red ochre on their skin. The red ochre cream that the Himba are famous for is made by pounding the ochre stone, hematite, into small pieces. Thereafter, the fragments are mixed with butter, slightly heated by means of smoke, and applied on the skin. It seems that the main reason for the red ochre is to establish a difference between men and women. Moreover, the red layer seems to help against the scorching sun radiation, while keeping the skin clean and moist. And to some extent it blocks hair growth on the body. Despite the fact the majority of Himba live a distinct cultural lifestyle in their remote rural environment and homesteads, they are, however, socially dynamic, and not all are isolated from the trends of local urban cultures. The Himba coexist and interact with members of their country's other ethnic groups, and the social trends of urban townsfolk, especially those in proximity to the Cunene region capital of Apuwo, traveling frequently to shop at the local town supermarkets for the convenience of commercial consumer products, market food produce, and to acquire health care. Because of the harsh desert climate in the region where they live, and their seclusion from outside influences, the Himba have managed to maintain and preserve much of their traditional lifestyle. Members live under a tribal structure based on bilateral descent that helps them live in one of the most extreme environments on Earth. Under bilateral descent, every tribe member belongs to 2 clans, one through the father, a Patra clan called Oruzo, and another through the mother, a Matra clan called Ianda. Himba clans are led by the eldest male in the clan. Sons live with their father's clan, and when daughters marry, they go to live with the clan of their husband. However, inheritance of wealth does not follow the Patra clan, but is determined by the Matra clan. That is, a son does not inherit his father's cattle, but his maternal uncles instead. Bilateral descent is found among only a few groups in West Africa, India, Australia, Melanesia, and Polynesia, and anthropologists consider the system advantageous for groups that live in extreme environments because it allows individuals to rely on 2 sets of families dispersed over a wide area.